thing that had to do with weddings and this marriage between the bridegroom and the soul bride. He was explaining to me why the soul is always feminine, why the soul is always referred to as she. And it was so theology of the body. So what he was saying was that that the soul has to be feminine, because if we look at the feminine body was designed by God, created to receive love, to allow love to gestate within her, and then to give birth to new life and new love. And so he was saying that all souls are feminine, because whether we are male or female, that our first vocation is to open ourselves to Christ, to allow him to impregnate us with the seeds of his love, and then to rest, to let those seeds rest within us and to gestate. And what I don't really have good words for, but if we think about Mary and Jesus in Mary's womb, that it's not just that then he wants us to give back what he's given us, but he wants us to add ourselves to what he's given us. It's a merging, it's an infusing of two hearts together. This is what we talk about over and over again in Brides, why he says that her essences are rare and the rarest fruits, because each one of us is a unique soul, a unique heart. And so as he impregnates each of us with his love, he wants who we are to become one with who he is in us, so that the love then that we give birth to is a completely new and unique manifestation of his love. Just like a child is not all, doesn't have all the genes of the mother or all the genes of the father, right? It's both. It's a true marriage. And so when the first thing he said was, why are all souls feminine? And he said, because the bridegroom longs to marry every soul. It's all about marriage. It's all about the wedding. And so once we have opened ourselves to receive the seeds of love from the bridegroom, and we allow them to gestate, to grow, we nourish them and nurture them and pour our hearts, our love onto them. Then, just like the female body, we need to be able to give birth to this new life, this new love, this new creation that is the union of my heart and Jesus's heart. And so this is how, as I think it was St. Albert the Great, but please don't quote me on that, I can find out, who said that just as Mary gave birth to Jesus in the natural order, that we are all called to give birth to him in the spiritual order, that we're all to be spiritual mothers of Christ, all souls, male or female. Whether you're male or female in your personhood, spiritually, we're all called to give birth to Christ anew in this world. But before a woman can give birth, she has to receive love from her spouse. So again and again, we come back to the importance of our prayer life, our interior life, of having that time of spousal prayer, of spousal union with Christ, sitting at his feet and receiving, learning how to let him love us. So as he was showing me the love that overwhelmed the Blessed Virgin Mary at the Incarnation, he showed it to me in reference to the song, that the Trinity is the fire of love. And one of the visions he had given me a couple of years ago that just really, like, it came back to me so clearly and made so much more sense now that I know the song and all that he's taught me in the last few years. It was in 2019. And I was sick with the stomach flu or something, and we were in a different house, but the couch that I was laying on had this big empty wall. And as I laid there sick, it was as though he was showing me this on this big empty wall wasn't empty. And what he showed me was him on the cross. I had just started learning about the cross as the marriage bed of the bridegroom. And so he was showing me him on the cross and the hand of God reaching down and touching his chest where his heart is, and the Holy Spirit bursting out of where the Father and the Son connected. But what was strange to me at the time was the background was like all dark, like black. And the Father's hand, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus himself, I knew it was their forms, but it was all fire. It was just flames that were continually moving. And as the Father would reach down again and again and touch his Son's heart, and the Holy Spirit would flow, his side, the flames would open up and streams of flames would pour out through his side. And as he was bringing this memory back to me last week, or maybe this was just a couple days ago, I don't even remember now. It was like this, I just kept hearing over and over again that love is stronger than death, and that love is a flash of fire, a flame of Yahweh himself, and that the Trinity is, it is fire. It is this flame of love that at the same time, it is so powerful. It's so, the heat and the brightness are unbearable, and yet it doesn't consume, it doesn't destroy, it doesn't damage. It's life-giving fire. It is purifying fire. And it warms and it brings life. And this came to me as I was saying that the act of spiritual communion, I say before I go to bed at night. The first line of it is, "Sweet spouse of my soul, come and enter my heart with the same love with which you entered the immaculate womb of your blessed mother." And as I spoke those words, then I saw this fire. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I've been asking for. Like, wow, that's the love. That's the love that entered the womb of Mary. It just led me to much pondering with him about how he wants to set the world on fire, how he wishes the world was already burning, the fire that he came to bring. It's not a fire that destroys and harms and kills. It's the fire of love. And how does he set the world on fire? One heart at a time. The fire of love begets more love, more fire. The fire of his love is in his blood that was poured out on the cross. Fire purifying and redeeming the whole world. The fire of his love is in the blood that we receive in the Eucharist. Whether we can receive from the chalice or not, his body and blood cannot be separated. So even in the host, we receive his blood. We receive the fire of his love, the same love that entered the womb of the Blessed Mother. The same wedding, the same joy of the wedding of humanity and divinity takes place in us when we receive the Eucharist. He becomes one. The fire of his love then flows in our veins. May we be open to receive and open to pour back out, to let the fire of his love flow back out of us. We need to remain in this bridal posture of openness to receive and to give. We can't close up after having received. We need to open again and pour it back out into the world. It just always astounds me that he desires, like he wants to work through us. He wants to allow us to participate in this continual recreation of the world, right? He could do it all himself, but he invites us and he longs, he pursues us, he desires to do this with us. He desires to wed our souls, to impregnate us with his love. Like that's his longing, that's his love sickness. Just keep in mind too, that last verse in the song about love that is strong as death, a flash of fire, a flame of Yahweh himself, that no torrents can drown, no floods quench. So this is what I wrote after he brought back to my mind that vision of the Trinity, all fire, and Jesus on the cross and the fire pouring out of his side, purifying and redeeming the world. I said, this is truly you revealing to me the truth of verse 8:6 of the song. You are bridegroom, giving your life for the life of your bride on the marriage bed of the cross. The true unity of the three persons of the Trinity. Your blood containing the oneness of divinity pouring forth from your side for the purification and redemption of humanity. This is love. This is love that is stronger than death. Love that is a flash of fire, a flame of Yahweh himself. The fire of love. This is who you are. O holy and sacred fire of love, may just a single flame of your mighty everlasting fire burn within us. May we be as a single drop of your all-powerful, precious blood in this world. Your blood flows in our veins. Your blood is the fire of divine love. Divine love is a flash of fire, a flame of Yahweh himself. You give us your body and your blood. We consume the fire of divine love. The fire of divine love flows in our veins. Fire, no flood, no torrents, no illness, no evil can ever extinguish. Fire of divine love, stronger than death. May we continue to return often to the school of the bridegroom, where Mary is our first teacher, and learn from her how to remain in his love, that this joy, this complete joy of the Holy Trinity may be ours may be our strength and our peace. That we may learn to be interiorly open to receiving the seeds of his love, the flame of his love, and open to then give this flame back out into the world, that other hearts may be enkindled and set on fire with love. That his will may be done on earth as it is in heaven. His will that all souls marry him, that all souls be one with him, that all souls know this overwhelming, immense joy of the love of the Holy Trinity. May we continue to return to Mary as the gate, the ark that will take us in to the completeness of that joy.